For over a century, the United States has wielded its influence across the globe, often through regime changes that have reshaped nations. Take Hawaii, for instance. In 1893, American sugar planters, fearing Queen Liliʻuokalani's reforms, collaborated with U.S. Marines to orchestrate a coup. The Queen was forced to abdicate, leading to Hawaii's annexation in 1898. This move secured a critical Pacific stronghold, but came at the expense of native sovereignty, a stark reminder of the costs of intervention. Fast forward to the Spanish-American War in 1898. The mysterious explosion of the USS Maine in Havana Harbor ignited a conflict with Spain. The U.S. quickly gained control over Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. While Cuba was declared independent, it remained under U.S. influence, illustrating how military might can reshape borders and political landscapes. Throughout the early 20th century, the so-called Banana Wars saw U.S. interventions in Latin America driven by corporate interests. Companies like the United Fruit Company pushed for military action to secure cheap labor and land. This led to a series of coups that installed pro-business regimes, leaving behind a legacy of instability and deep-rooted anti-American sentiment. The Cold War era marked a new chapter in U.S. interventions, particularly in the name of combating communism. In 1953, Iranian Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh nationalized oil, challenging Western interests. The CIA responded with Operation Ajax, orchestrating a coup that replaced him with a pro-Western Shah. This action not only altered Iran's political landscape, but also set the stage for decades of tension between the U.S. and Iran. Chile's story in 1973 is another stark example. Salvador Allende, a democratically elected socialist, posed a threat to U.S. business interests. On September 11, 1973, a military coup backed by covert funding and political sabotage brought General Augusto Pinochet to power. His brutal regime, marked by human rights abuses and economic privatization, drastically changed the course of Chilean history. In the post-Cold War era, the U.S. continued its pattern of intervention. The 2003 invasion of Iraq was justified by claims of weapons of mass destruction. However, after toppling Saddam Hussein, no such weapons were found. Instead, Iraq descended into chaos, giving rise to ISIS and years of sectarian conflict, demonstrating the unpredictable consequences of regime change. More recently, the Euromaidan protests in Ukraine in 2014 showcased the complexities of U.S. involvement. When President Yanukovych rejected an EU deal, massive protests erupted. The U.S. support for the opposition played a role in his removal, leading to Russia's annexation of Crimea and ongoing regional conflict. This situation underscores how U.S. actions can have far-reaching implications, often igniting tensions that last for years. From Hawaii to Ukraine, U.S. regime change policies have redefined global politics, frequently at a tremendous human and economic cost. The question remains, was it a quest for democracy or merely a relentless pursuit of power and profit? What do you think? Is regime change ever justified?